Well, it's been this way ever since I was a little kid. You know, they've turned everybody against me. They've hated me for all these years. They've always hated me. They've turned my dad against me in every way.
My mom, my dad, Donnie, and his sister were standing there.
It's disgusting. And we have Sonia just popped in.
Sonia popped in, yeah. So we've got your sister here. Sonia, welcome. We are recording right now. This is not live. We are recording this though, just so you know. Thank you for calling in. And Dawn's here too. I'm sure you can see.
I can't see her.
Yeah, she just got an icon. And Sonia, if you can hear us, you have your microphone muted. Oh, there you go.
Okay, I'm here.
Okay. Hey,
Hi,
Sonia. Thanks for calling in.
Mm-hmm.
So should I ask, are you Dawn's older sister, younger, close in age?
2 years younger.
And is it all right, and you don't have to answer this, but could I ask, did he ever be inappropriate with you? You've told me it's been quite hard for you to continue to bite your tongue.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can you hear me? So I did not finish this. This is something I did not have time to finish. I have a lot I want to add to it. Hey AS2, hey Carolyn. I hope you guys are well tonight. So we're just going to go through this and listen, and I'm going to commentate as we go. I'll probably flip through other videos I wanted to show while we're doing this. I never seem to have enough time. Never. But you guys will get the point of this video. I watched Prayer Garden from the other night when she had Mary on. I have a lot of thoughts. A lot of new thoughts. Do I believe Don did the things he did when he was younger? Yes. 100% I believe it. That's my opinion. However, there's been a family feud going on for a very long time. And although I don't want to take somebody's victimhood away, I don't want to state that these people aren't victims because I believe that they are. However, I don't believe they're innocent. Okay? I don't like the games they're playing. In Summer's case, we're looking for a missing child. They continue to get on panels. Mary continues to get on panels. And she says things that really bother me. For instance, we're going to hear, I'm going to let what I did cut play. One of the things she says is he wanted to move his family into my dad's house and we told him no. I told my mom, no. Get them the fuck out of here or some shit she says, right? Maybe your niece wouldn't be missing if you wanted to meet the kids and love them. I can't believe that you have any care for Summer when you're not caring what happens to his children as a family member. Children you claim you've never met. That bothers me. That bothers me tremendously. Maybe Summer would be here if you was more welcoming. However, I'm going to mute. You guys just listen a little.
I just kept hoping it would just go away. Everybody would stop saying shit. The fire wouldn't continue to grow. But
yeah.
My mom and dad both were in tears, literally crying. And my dad, apparently Donnie had just barely punched him, okay? Literally punched him because they were arguing and fighting. I'm not really quite sure what the fight was about, but I'm sure it was over Donnie trying to move into the house. Well, they were arguing, and my dad told him, just get the hell out of here. I don't want you here. And his sister Sonia was standing there, and she even said, just get in your truck and leave, Donnie, just go. That's the day that he left. He didn't leave because of Jose.
But it was like I said, Don and his dad, oh no, his father hated him. I know his dad hated his guts. Oh yes, he did. Oh, they clashed so bad. They've had arguments, and they would clash. His father just hated him. And no, I never knew what it was, but there was something there that Dad and him didn't like each other. And, you know,
I know exactly what it is. AAS too. Yeah. Hard to listen to. It's property. Everything always comes down to properties, houses, and who's going to get what. If you listen and you listen closely, you can tell this family has been fighting over their dad's property forever. The stepchildren want what belongs to the birth children because he married the mother. You hear Mary the other night state, well, I think Sonia's in charge of everything. No, the wife would be by law, right? I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of hate. A lot of hate. I don't hear Jeannie coming forward and talking. I believe Jeannie's story. But at the same time, we have to look at it as Jeannie also married somebody 10 million years younger than her and did the same thing as Dawn. Do we give precedence to one over the other because they're both sick? In my opinion. You hear Dawn's daughter in this talk about what Mary's family has done to her. I took some clips from White Boy. Dawn's daughter and his son, although not very vocal, have both been on camera with Dawn and Candace. I don't see the hate or the abuse that Mary states there is when it comes to them. Now, do I think Dawn was a great parent? No, I do see abuse. I do. You can hear it with the daughter. When I was 3 years old, I was being touched by 3. One of them including Mary's husband, I believe, is what she says. You listen to Mary in this state that she wanted to buy Dawn's child for $10,000. And PM says, well, then I can't see it. No, you can't see it. We don't want you nowhere near this child. Okay, then I'm not signing. You wanted to illegally buy a child. You're claiming Dawn was trying to sell, right? Something's not right. I get a funny vibe from Mary, and I'm going to state it. However, let's go.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that raised questions too. What the hell did, Donnie do to Dad that Dad is so pissed off?
Now, he had previously, your husband, Donnie, a couple of days before that, your husband had to get Donnie because Donnie was telling your dad he was bringing his family and he was taking over the house, right?
Yeah, it was probably about a week before that, before he left. Me and my husband had went over there, and Donnie was in the bedroom arguing with my dad over the house. And Donnie was sitting there yelling at and telling my dad that he deserved the house, that my dad owed it to him, and there was nothing that they could do. He was moving his family down here, plus the grandma, and into the house with the kids and everything. And I told my mom, I said, no, that's don't you dare let them move in. And she's like, well, I'm not. And that's when my husband went into the bedroom and he told Donnie, he told him to get the hell out of there because
Maybe had you let them moved in, Mary, and helped them and loved your brother and cared about them children, DCF wouldn't have them and Summer wouldn't be gone. That right there shows me your miserable personality, in my opinion.
Donnie kept trying to fight my dad. And, here's my dad, like 87 years old, and here's Donnie trying to literally fist fight him. And my husband told Donnie, either get the hell out of here or we're going at it right now. You're going to deal with me. And Donnie got pissed off.
And as far as the family cheating, that'll probably not be resolved. That's been going on from day one. That's, there's always been a big split there. I just wish that would just...
Exactly. And Donnie, when Mary's husband first went into the room, Donnie tells him, get out. This ain't none of your effing business.
Yep,
and he said, oh, yeah, it is. This is my father-in-law, Donald. And I'm not going to allow you to mistreat him like this. If you want to go at someone, to me and you going out in the yard right now.
Yep.
And it's hard telling because see, Mary wasn't there all the time, and it's hard telling how much other times between this Donald was being so violent to Mary's dad and mom.
Oh yeah.
You know, and he has his son up there at the time this is going on, right?
Yeah. Josie.
Yeah, and his little boy is being subject to this violence.
Yeah.
And Mary also was kind enough to enlighten me that the whole time Donnie was there, every single night, he was out there hitting the bottle and doing, you know, his regular undesirable activities with his son in that.
I didn't have time. I've been working on this for 2 days, and I had to make sure I come live tonight. I didn't have time. I'm going to dispute this. I want you guys to go back to Candace's Facebook the week Summer went missing. Everybody was searching the Facebook. Everybody was looking. Here's what I seen. A ton of pictures from Dawn, sending them to Candace with not only Josie, but the older son, a bunch of friends and family members on a riverbank, swinging from ropes into the river. What was it, the Colorado River? It looked like. I don't know. I seen images of Welcome to Utah. I seen photos of Josie outside the sister's house, happy. I seen photos of Dawn's workplaces. So I'm not quite understanding the photos doesn't show what Mary's saying happened. In my opinion. However, let's continue. That's what I wanted to put in there was photos.
Camper along with him.
Yep. You know, I wasn't there. I don't know what they were going on, but I do know Donnie was getting drunk every night. And my dad was so upset about it because he would come home and go into that camper and play his music, I guess, just blaring loud, even to where the cops were called on him from the neighbors a couple of times. And my dad kept telling him, you can't do that. You can't come home and live here and stay here.
After hearing that, my husband told me he'd give me the money. I'm calling Utah. I'm FOIA-ing 911 calls to their house when Dawn was there. Okay? So that'll be coming up. Just give me a couple weeks to get it together.
And play your music all loud like that and sit and drink. And Donnie would just get pissed off at him and tell him to, you know, where to go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so this proves that Don Wells was trying to move not only Candace and his kids, but also Grandis up there into his parents' home and just take over like, you know, it's nobody's business. It also proves that he did not leave Utah due to any type of jealousy or anything about no Jose, the way he tried to act like he did. The 911 call was not about any jealousy or Jose being there. Now,
Prayer Garden's going to go on and show you a 911 call that happened years prior. I believe it was 2 years prior. I couldn't find a date for it, okay? Jose was not there at the time. However, it is disturbing. The 911 call is disturbing. If you ask me, honest to God truth. However, it's not the 911 call the night Summer went missing or the night Jose was there and they were fighting. But Prayer Garden's going to put it out there and make you believe that that's what happened the night they were fighting, even though that was not even when Jose was there, right? Listen, Dawn's not innocent in this because there's going to be some shit I'm going to say about him in a little bit too. When it comes to the showering with your children, which Dawn admitted to, and I have a clip in here. You're going to see it. Okay. Anyways, let's listen.
We knew that Don Wells had already got home. He already knew Jose was there. Candace explained to him that Jose had no place to go. They dumped him and she let him stay there, you know, and he was helping out while Don wasn't there. And Don was all good with that.
And I believe Dawn and Candace are lying about that too. Real quick, let me tell you why. Dawn came back at the end of September, beginning of October. He lived in that home with Jose for 14 days, at least. Prior to the fist fight. Dawn was aware Jose was there. Dawn was okay with Jose being there. Dawn did not have an issue with Jose being there, as he lived in the home with him when he came back from Utah for days prior to the PFA going in. Protection from abuse. I don't know what you guys call it where you're at. But yeah, Dawn was living in the home with Jose for 14 days at least.
He was willing to let Jose continue to stay there as well, continue to stay there. And everything was hunky-dory until Jose seen Don Wells in the shower with Summer. And when he saw, Jose saw Don in the shower with Summer, now either he heard or he's seen something he did not like, because he got to tell, and he told Candace, you get her out or I'll get her out, but somebody's getting her out of there. Now, something wasn't right for a man to say, I want this kid the heck out of that shower, and somebody's going to do it.
I don't know, but the way the events is starting to unfold now and finding out that a lot of the things she did tell me are true, I'm starting to believe he did. Because, as I said, the incident I had with him, that I had to, call Summer out of the shower with him, that alone was like my biggest red flag. That's not normal. Fathers don't do that. That's definitely not a normal behavior at all whatsoever. So I'm starting to think he possibly did. And, as we spoke, she's about to start kindergarten.
Yep.
And, kids know the truth and they're going to speak it bluntly.
Yeah.
And I think that they knew she was about to go to school, and it was a possibility that she was going to let it all out. Personally, no. My altercation with him was when he actually had Summer in the shower. And I lost it. That's personally when I was thinking of my daughter, and I'm a father, and no, I don't think so. And I lost it, and I made Summer get out of the shower, and he's like, what the hell are you doing? That's not I don't give a shit who it is. Well, you ain't going to take a bath with her. She could take a bath alone. Matter of fact, Mom, Candace, and I called her. She's like, what? You take a bath with her. She ain't supposed to be in that shower with him. That's your job, not his. And that's when I was explaining to them. I said, a woman can teach a girl how to be a woman, because they have the same body parts, same functions, just as a man can teach a boy to be a man. He has the same body functions. So I accept that. If a father was to take a bath with his son, that's cool. You know what I mean? As long as there's limits there. But to have a father to take a bath with his daughter, no, you sick. Something's wrong in your head.
Yes.
That's inappropriate. That should not be allowed, and that's disgusting. It's not a bathtub, and you're not taking a bubble bath, You're in a stand-up shower. You're a 50-something-year-old man, well above 6'2", and you have your young daughter that's pint-sized. That's what I called her, because she was so tiny, And I'm pretty sure that when she looked up at her dad, what was the first thing she was looking at. You know what I mean? And it was disgusting to me.
And that's what the whole 911 call was about that. Now we're going to listen to that 911 call. And let's keep in mind that Donnie was up there abusing his dad and his mom before he comes home. And who is he abusing then? Well, we're going to definitely take a listen to who Donnie was abusing at that particular time.
We have a domestic with assault, 110 Benhill Road, 110 Benhill Road, off Beach Creek Road.
10-4. Is there any lower end guy that can get that?
6.
We're practically on scene right now with the shooting.
Can you get out to 110 Benhill Road off Beach Creek? Have a domestic with assault.
10-4, been route. 4336, I'll get you going.
Both parties are intoxicated. The female is refusing to leave the residence. They're in a verbal at this time. The unit route to Benhill Road are advised that there are 4 small children in the residence. There's also a couple other parties. She's in the back bedroom because there's not a door that locks. I was advising the male maybe walking down the road, gray shirt and blue jeans.
Next. Possible direction of traffic.
Not sure. Advice he's very intoxicated. Female laid the phone down walked away from it. Sounds like the male's back in the residence. She's yelling, ow, and stop. The city's coming in. I heard a copy of Bolo.
I want y'all to listen to this 911 call really closely at this part. Seems the male's back in the residence. She's yelling, no, stop. Then you're going to hear them say, well, we just seen his truck. Who was hitting Candace? What male is in the residence hurting Candace? Well, Dawn's in the truck and the police are witnessing him driving down Beach Creek Road towards Churchill. That's a little funny to me. Keep listening.
Bolo for a white DMC Sonoma, Utah tag. Left from 110-110 Ben Hill Road, headed towards Churchill. Reference to a domestic. Males and
That was after they said there's a male in the house and the mother's screaming, ow, stop. It wasn't Dawn. Dawn was in his truck headed towards Churchill.
He was called back in. There's Sergeant. The dogs looking clear the perimeter.
She said he'd done something to Summer. He'd done something to Summer. Now, Summer was in the shower with him. She was in the shower. The big fight broke out because Jose made Candace get Summer out of that shower. That's what everything was about Summer being in that shower. Yet she says he'd done something to Summer. He'd done something to her. And he's still trying to get her, she says. Still trying to get her. He always tries to hurt Summer. He always tries to hurt her. Now they call Summer Sissy. They're talking about Summer. They said Sissy hurts.
After this clip, you're going to hear about, I think it's a 6-minute video from AF Pennington where she tried to clean up the audio. She made it worse. You can't understand it. So, Mr. Wells, I have to ask, why were you asking AF Pennington to make this go away? I would like to know what was going on this night because it is disturbing, and I do hear a lot of the same that Prayer Garden hears. However, the part where she says sissy, I didn't hear sissy. There are words in there that I don't hear that Prayer Garden hears. It's a shitty recording. You guys let me know what you hear, but this is not the call that came in the night Jose was there as Prayer Garden is displaying it. Still no excuse for this bullshit, right?
Now that's the 911 call. That's the 911 call.
Earlier today, somebody sent a video to me, alleged to contain audio of a call made to police by Candace Bly, which purports to have Summer in the background, crying for help. It is also being alleged that a claim regarding Summer is then made by Candace Bly to the police. Upon receiving the audio file, it was immediately apparent that the audio is also not of a good quality. This increases the chances, therefore, of listeners interpreting the audio differently, To avoid accusations of leading the audience toward my own interpretation, I have removed all visuals, so as to remove visual prompts regarding what is alleged to be being said. Firstly, here is the audio, as it is being featured on various channels today. I next enhance the audio and reduce the background noise in an attempt to ascertain what is being said.
Here's what she did. She's using a program like I use, probably Wondershare, okay? She ducked the clips. She tried to change the pitch in it, which changes the voice. Like, I don't even want to listen to this because you can't even understand it. Can anybody understand what A.F. Pennington did? Because I don't hear. The first audio sounded more clear than the next two or three. What? Or 2D2. Okay. The only words in this recording that makes any sense to me is he's always trying to hurt Summer. That's clear as day. Who, Candace? Who's always trying to hurt Summer? Dawn?
I again reduce both the echo and background noise, as well as enhancing and accentuating the higher pitch voice, and in theory, what is being alleged to be Summer's voice.
100%. She does exactly what I do. She's using Wondershare, guys. She just told us what she did. I've had a very lengthy conversation with Jeannie. Okay? I believe Jeannie. I believe her story. I also don't see her out here as often as you see Mary out here. I don't see Trish out here as often as you see Mary out here. To me, it seems like Mary got a vendetta. When I talked to Jeannie, she kind of just told me she wanted this shit to go away. It almost felt like to me, she didn't say it, but it almost felt like to me she was being pushed to do this. And she really didn't want to. That's the vibe I got from her. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If she wants to grab a link and talk further about it, she's welcome to. I believe Jeannie in her story. However, Mary doesn't seem to go away. She got a cooking channel. It doesn't stop. She goes on other panels. Her stories change. Now, she gets on Prayer Garden and it's a whole new story. Why wouldn't you say that 3 years ago? Why 3 years later are you coming out with a whole new story of what happened when Dawn was there? No, Lisa, you're not blocked. Yeah, Jeannie is 100% believable. Mary? Nah. There's something there.
And now, with the lower pitches accentuated, thus in theory, making it easier to hear the adult conversation.
I'm going to tell you something. That is why that it wasn't anything to do with Candace at all. It wasn't anything to do with any jealousy about Jose at all. This was about Summer and what Don Wells was doing to Summer. What he had been doing and what he was doing and what in my opinion, he continued to do to this baby girl, to this little girl. And Mary more so than anyone can relate to what Don does to little girls because she had to, endure what her sister went through. And she had to endure, Donnie at one point bringing some boys in and getting close to hurting Mary herself. And, I'm going to tell you.
There's a lot of clips I wanted to put in here that I was unable to go grab. I just didn't have the time if I wanted to go live tonight. But I'm going to continue this. I want to go through Mary's stories the multiple times, and I have them downloaded. I have the lab, I have Doug, I have all of that already downloaded. So I want to go through the 5, 6, 7 times that Mary told the story of the night Dawn's friends chased her down. And then I want to go through Dawn's story of it because Dawn says he was trying to save Mary that night. So that'll be a future live. I'm sorry I was unable to finish this. I just really didn't have the time.
A lot of you here, I'm preaching to the choir. You guys also know, exactly what this 911 call's about. You know what it's about because a lot of us have had people like Don Wells in our lives, right? Violating us when we didn't want to be violated, doing bad things to us when we didn't want bad things being done.
It was in September, AS2. I think it was September 9th or September 18th. They've gone, I'll find the receipts. Andrew put receipts out for the U-Haul quite some time ago, and it had the date that they came. So, Andrew, if you're listening by chance and you want to repost your receipts of the U-Haul, that would be helpful. But I believe it was September 18th. Am I right? I could be wrong. Either the 9th or the 18th. But it was in September. He was there a good month prior to Dawn getting home.
Don Wells lied. He lied. Why is it so important that Mary came up here tonight and let everyone know that Don Wells did not leave Utah for the reason he said? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because it shows that he lied about this 911 call. He lied about it. Candace lied about it. Candace knew that this 911 call had nothing to do with her or any jealousy of Jose's. She knew, exactly what this man.
Well, then why do these people like share and Benny say and put these things in everybody's head that would all sleep naked and shower with her? Like, why are they putting that stuff out? Like, is that true?
You know, when your little girl and your boys, they go out and they play all day, and then they get mixed up with candy, candy on or something.
Yeah.
They got the shit all over their face and in their hair.
Yeah.
Well, I have to take a shower every night because I work in drywall.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, get your little punk asses in here. And we'd all rinse off together real quick. Mom would be waiting there with the towel. I'd throw them out one at a time. And Mom would dry them off and dress them. So, I don't want my little girl with freaking candy all over her sleeping next to me. And plus, she ain't gonna sleep good unless she's clean. I did it out of love.
So it was, how big is your shower?
I mean, it's like one of them, I don't know, it's not that big. It's kind of hard to fit. I've had every one of my kids in there with me.
Oh.
They're all of them, all four of them plus me. I'm gonna throw them out one at a time for Mom.
Well,
no problem.
Does Candace shower with the babies?
Well, Candace don't take a shower that often because I work every day. I work.
Miss Lawson, I wish I knew. I wish I knew what happened this summer. I come on here and I say every day that I have 10 theories a day. I don't have a thought on what happened this summer. I know bears didn't take her. There's no evidence of that. Bears would leave behind evidence such as a shirt. They don't eat clothing. There would be blood. The walk-off theory, I think it's possible. She's tiny. She could be anywhere, However, I feel as though they searched and searched and searched. And not only did they search, but EquiSearch searched. They had the PIs out there searching. There has been a lot of people searching, and I feel they would have found evidence of some sort 3 years later with the amount of searches they did. Everybody has funny stories. Fred can't get his story right. Candace refused to talk to the police. Jody Sue, they were drugging the kids. I have no one theory. Does anybody else? I could sit here and I could think of 10 different ways Summer could have got gone. I wish I knew. I'm sure all of us wishes we knew what happened to Summer. You hear things like Dawn's taking a shower with her. He always hurt Summer. That's scary. That makes you think Dawn is a possibility. All these 911 calls, like these are recorded calls to police officers. It makes you side-eye them. You hear stories of Dawn saying, well, my mom ran a scandalous motel in California and we had police guarding the doors while they sold drugs and prostituted people on Smiley. I believe that because I was able to confirm that his mother ran a hotel. I don't know why you hear the daughter in this. We're going to go over white boys. I have clips of that in here where the daughter speaks to white boy. She claims to love her dad, but there are things in there that she says to white boy that gives me chills. Like, oh, I remember when my dad used to follow us on a motorcycle, and you're hearing Jeannie's thoughts of the motorcycle, right? I don't know what happened to Summer. I'm lost to this day. I have no one theory, and there are days I want to protect Dawn and Candace and say, no, there's no way they did this. I don't get a scary vibe from Candace. I'll tell you that. If something happened under Candace's watch, I believe it would have been an accident. People say, oh, we don't see Candace as being loving. Well, I see opposite. I see Candace going to waterfalls with her kids and them swimming. She does what I do. Gather the kids up, get the free shit, go over, and I go to the water steps in Pittsburgh. We live in the city. We go to the fountains downtown when you can't afford and you have 10,000 kids in one day, right? She took Allie's kids. Tons and tons of pictures of going to Wisconsin and visiting her family. I don't get that abusive vibe from Candace. I could be wrong. Dawn, on the other hand, I don't know. There's days I believe Dawn. Then there's days I don't. Then there's days I believe it's just drug addiction. That maybe Candace was using and Summer had gotten into something or did something. There's so many possibilities with this case, and I'm not a law enforcement officer. However, I do know the TBI is still looking. I called them the other day. You guys heard that. They're still taking tips. And I believe they say there's no evidence of an abduction theory. Something I wanted to go over before I seen PG, and I started, and I have like 3 videos I made yesterday. Partially why this one's not done. None of them are. But we listened to the new guy and the TBI come out and talk, and he is disputing what Leslie Earhart said about the tips. You love the water steps? Say yes too. I do too. And the free concerts, ever since COVID, they took the concerts away over behind the casino. Pisses me off. I used to take my kids to those. You know what I mean? The Science Center, Dollar Days, if you have an access card. I don't get government benefits. I used to. I still have my access card and we get medical. So I use my medical. We go in. It's like $2 to get into the Science Center. Like, that's the type of shit I do too. He was not in the shower with Summer. Well, he just said that. Let's listen to that again. Because he just said to Molly that he was. However, he also said we just dunk all 4 kids. We throw them in, we hurry up, bath them, mom's waiting with a towel. So, but all right, let's listen.
These people like share and Benny say and put these things in everybody's head that would all sleep naked and shower with her. Like, why are they putting that stuff out? Like, is that true?
You know, when your little girl and your boys, they go out and they play all day, and then they get mixed up with candy, candy on their stuff.
Yeah.
They got the shit all over their face and in their hair.
Yeah.
Well, I have to take a shower every night because I work in drywall.
Right.
So I'm like, fuck, get your little punk asses in here. And we'd all rinse off together real quick. Mom would be waiting there at the towel. I'd throw them out one at a time. And Mom would dry them off and dress them. So, you know, I don't want my little girl with freaking candy all over her sleeping next to me. You know, and plus, she ain't going to sleep good unless she's clean. I did it out of love.
So it was, how big is your shower?
I mean, it's like one of them, you know, I don't know. It's not that big. It's kind of hard to fit. I've had every one of my kids in there with me
Oh.
All of them, all 4 of them plus me. And I'll throw them out one at a time tomorrow.
Wow.
No problem.
Does Candace shower with the babies?
Well, Candace don't take a shower that often because I work every day. I work. I have to take a shower.
Yeah.
I don't sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy. That's so crazy.
Nothing dirty like
And probably was still doing up to the point that Summer came up missing. She had full knowledge of what was going on. She's the one making the 911 call. She was there. She knows it all. And it shows. It shows the truth. That's what it shows. It shows the truth that a squad was needed. It shows that Summer did need to go to the hospital and be checked out. It does show that if 911 would have really heard what was going on, if they had really listened, they heard it. They didn't listen. They didn't act on it. If they would have listened and they would have acted on it, Summer might still be here today. She may still be here today. I think if they would have acted on it, I believe Don Wells would have been in prison right now. And little Summer would have been fine. She would have been.
If Mary would have cared, listened, paid attention, was worried about the kid's well-being, she wouldn't have fought with Dawn. She wouldn't have had her husband fought with Dawn. She would have calmed the situation. She would have welcomed them babies into the home, and Summer would be here today, Per Garden. Summer would be here today if they were in Utah. You ever think that? Mary giving him a hard time, making him leave, fighting with him. Summer would be here today, and the family would be around to love them and meet the children that they didn't know that they're claiming that they cared about. But no, let's go buy children for $10,000 because that's the way it should be, right? Let's continue.
Fine. But you know, they didn't act on it, did they, Mary?
Nope.
They didn't help her.
Yeah.
This little girl was hollering for mommy.
Yeah.
And mommy wasn't helping. Mommy had no intentions of helping. And she started hollering, somebody, anybody. Well, you know, if I was a 911 operator, I would have said, hey, that's the cue for me to intervene. That's a cue for me to be sending a squad and making sure Child Protective Services shows up right behind law enforcement. And this little girl gets checked out because something ain't right here. But nobody cared enough to get that done. Nobody cared enough to get it done. The ball got dropped on this little girl so many different times. It was pathetic. And Don Wells is not a good person. He's not a good person. Mary, what is the connection between Utah and Summer's disappearing? Please and thank you.
You know, I really don't know, you know, I mean, other than Donnie lived here his whole life, pretty much, you know, and I don't know why they would, you know, have named her, you know, Summer Moon Utah Wells. And then Donnie always saying that he always wanted to come back here. But then when everything started falling in on him and Summer went missing and, you know, the stuff with me and my sister, he started saying, oh, I hate Utah. I'm never going back there. But, you know, I don't know what the connection really would be, you know.
Right.
He always wanted to come back to Utah prior to what me and my sister did. I don't know what the connection would be. He loved Utah prior to what you and your sister did when his daughter went missing. I think you just said, right? That's the connection. By the way, I love Summer's name. I think it's unique. You guys did good in naming your beautiful daughter.
That's true. That's true. I mean, you know, you didn't even know. A lot of people, I want to clear another thing up. A lot of people are saying, well, how did Mary say that Don was leaving Summer down at the shed, maybe for people to, and then make her walk back up on the hill alone? If she didn't know about Summer, no. I want to clear that up. See, Mary did not know that Summer existed. Mary hadn't seen Don forever and a day. And when Don and the boy went to Utah, Mary went to her mother's house. The boy was in there. Mary tried to befriend the child, get some information out of the child. And Donnie kept interceding and threatening the boy and making him stay out in the trailer so that Mary couldn't learn anything about Tennessee and what was going on.
Per Gordon, did you ever think that Dawn has said it a million times, his sister Sonia said it, that there's been a family feud over the dad's house for years and years and years? If some woman that doesn't know my child is going in and asking questions about their life after they tried to buy one of my children, yeah, I'd be like, don't talk to that bitch neither. You ain't allowed to speak to her. I would be the same way. Just saying.
Don Wells, was very guardant to make sure that no one in that household learned any business about him nor the other children back home, even Candace or Grandis at that point. They knew there was a grandma. They knew that he was married. They knew that there were some kids, but they had no idea who these kids were or that they were females or males. They didn't know, or even the ages. They had no idea.
I knew they were boys. I just thought that they were all boys, and I didn't even know he had 4 kids. I thought he just had 3 boys. I
Right.
never knew about Summer. I mean, during the years, there would be times where I would come to my mom's and ask maybe if Donnie's called or if she knows how he's doing, stuff like that. But there was really no, talk about girls or boys or anything. It was just kids, well, he's got a couple of kids now, and I guess.
Right.
So you were worried about kids. Why didn't you fill yourself in on who they were? I believe on Voices, and I'll find the clip, Dawn said you did know about Summer, that y'all helped him name her or something. So I find this all a little very odd. Like, I've heard Dawn say that y'all did know about Summer. And if you knew about the boys, and what kind of family member that gives a fuck says, hey, how's Dawn's kids? Oh, I don't even know if I have nieces or nephews. I don't believe you. Sorry, that's my feelings, Mary. I don't believe you. Keep your cooking channel.
Okay, and so that was about it.
Right. And when it came to, the shed at the bottom of the property, this is something that Mary was talking with people in the circle out here of YouTube. She was talking to different people in the circle of YouTube that was giving her some insight on what could have been going on. That's where, when she said, the shed and possibly, she was saying, hey, I wouldn't put it past Donnie and Candace to be doing that to this child. I mean, it's something she heard, and she was just clarifying, hey, yeah, they're evil enough to do it, right?
Yeah. And that's just my opinion, there's been so many, people that I've talked to in chat and everything and seen.
So Dawn's in Utah in October 2020, right? 8 months before Summer goes missing. And he was there for a good 3 to 6 months prior to Summer going missing. So it isn't like he just walked in and was there. He was there for quite an extensive period of time. If you care about these kids and this is something Donnie could have did, why didn't you step in October of 2020, September of 2020, August of 2020? I believe he went down there in June of 2020. The whole time you were there, you're worried about children, but not until after Summer goes missing, right? There's something wrong here, Mary, in my opinion. This seems like a vendetta.
Videos and lives and stuff on it.
Right.
His biological sister.
And a full-blooded sister, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
The only one that's really stayed in touch with him all these years. He's got another biological sister she's sometimes I have contact with her, sometimes I don't. But my stepsisters, they have not had any contact with him for 20 plus years. Yeah, there's so many things being said out there. And I'm probably the only one that's been in contact with Donnie. Mm-hmm. For the last 20 years or 30 years, his stepsisters haven't even talked to him. They don't even know him. And they're saying all this crap about him. And it's like he was out here last summer for a few months. They may have seen him for 10 minutes, but other than that, it's been, 20 to 30 years since they've even seen him.
Hmm. And, Mary holds a lot of detail because, this was a young lady that grew up. She had to grow up in the household with this guy. She had to endure the freaking sinfulness and the wells of the devil when Don was there. And, so Mary, Mary knows, I mean, like anyone, if you grow up in a household with people, oh, trust me, you pretty much know what they're capable of. And you even more so know what they're capable of when they detached themselves from you. And that's what Donald did. He's like, you guys belong to your.
I'm going to take some time to go through this. But, man, never mind. I forget what I was going to say.
And we belong to my dad, and we're going to mistreat you guys, coming in here and acting like you're going to have at something. No, you're not. And so basically, Mary was on the inside, but also on the outside where she could really get a better view. It's not like, it was a big loving family where she loved her brother and had blinders on, really didn't know him.
I remember what I was going to say. Mary sits in this with Prayer Gordon and says how much she loves her dad. Previous interviews, and even in this one, she claims how dad always treated Donnie better. Dad always took up for Donnie's side. Dad stopped me from reporting my abuse. I went to the police station and Dad told me drop the charges. So how do you love this dad who was just as abusive to you? You sit here and you claim how wonderful of a man he is, but then in the same breath, you put the man down. You told us 3 years ago this man was on his deathbed. He had Alzheimer's. I didn't see that when Dawn went there and was showing him videos and pictures and what I showed at the beginning of this. Is it true? Yeah, because I've never spoken to the man. I don't know the man. Could very well be true, but I know that he didn't die 3 years ago on his deathbed. Now you're claiming he's a skeleton and a this and that. Yeah, no. 3 years. You're going to wait. Okay, so this guy's on his deathbed now in hospice as a skeleton. And now you want to stir the pot again. Why? Why? Because the property's getting closer. You want the house? What is it? You got a beautiful home with a kitchen. You cooking. Why wouldn't you want Dawn's kids to have a beautiful home too that you don't live in? Greed. You're just as greedy as the rest of them. Go knit another fucking Afghan.
Really didn't get to know who he truly was, because she had all of this. Because when you grow up with somebody and you're truly love them, you put on those rose-colored glasses, and there's a whole lot. It's not that you don't see it; it's that you just turn blind eyes to it and don't want to admit it to yourself or anyone else, and that's hard. But Mary didn't have to do that. She didn't have to do that because Don was a very evil person that was very mean and separated himself from Mary's family. And therefore, Mary was there, but she was also like with Donald casted on the outside where she got a real good view of who he is. She didn't have no, fake glasses on or anything trying to turn the blind eye to who Don Wells was. She knows exactly who Don Wells is. And, and she's gave a lot of insight on Don Wells out here, a lot of insight on.
From 30 years ago. You just heard Mary, the sister, and Dawn state that they didn't have contact for 20 to 30 years. It was minimal. Over the phone. Mary doesn't have insight into Dawn's adult life. Prayer garden. She ain't seen a dude in 30 years.
Donnie Wells. And I'm going to tell you, and more and more insight keeps coming out. A lot, like we had no idea. Don Wells said, I came rushing back and because this man's in my house and, I took off and came rushing back. They throw him out on the road and get him out of my house. He's in there with my wife. Like it was a big jealousy thing. And it wasn't true at all. It wasn't true at all. 3.5 years, this is what we've been hearing. This is what, and boom, God let Mary come up and clear the air, right?
Yeah.
God pulled that lie to the light for Summer's sake. So it's another thing we know that's going to help us understand. Yep. That 911 call was truly about Don Wells hurting Summer. That's what it was all about. And that is a big plus to Summer's case now. That's a big plus because now we know that this was all about him and him doing something very sinister to this little 5-year-old. At that time, he wouldn't even been 5, he only been 4.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's sinister. There's a missing child. Chris McDonough, as an ex-cop, brings these people out, fucking up any testimony, confusing the case, adding crimes that don't belong to Summer into the case, and bringing bullshit in. I can guarantee you that this is at least 70% why Summer isn't found. The charges weren't brought, they were dropped. It caused confusion. And to me, it seems like this stepsister, not Jeannie, because Jeannie, I believe, cares. But this stepsister don't give a fuck. She's worried about her and what she can gain from something. Mary, you need to stay the fuck off YouTube. Get rid of your cooking channel and be done with it. You're a tragedy pimp.
He's been 4 years.
In my opinion.
Old. And he was having at her. He was having at her, right? And Candace said he was. Candace said, Candace says he's always trying to hurt Summer. He's trying to hurt her now.
Yeah.
And this little girl's hollering, help me. Somebody, anybody help me.
And even before, when Donnie was with Pam and they had Margie and little Donnie, we were always calling like CPS and stuff. on them because of the way they were treating them, the way they were growing up, you know, and we wanted something done about it because we didn't think that they deserved to have these kids because of the way they were, you know, raising them. And it wasn't just, you know, neglect physically, you know, but mentally also. And when, you know, and then when all this stuff came out about Summer, and, you know, you through the chats and all the videos and everything, everybody's saying, well, you know, well, we called CPS, but they didn't do anything. And it makes you wonder why. Because when we were calling CPS on him when he had the two other kids, why didn't, I mean, they would go out to their house and stuff, but most of the time when CPS would go and do a check and everything, Donnie and Pam would up and move. They were gone. Gone.
Right. And at one time, they went all the way to Tennessee to hide.
Yeah.
In a trailer down at the bottom of the property because old Mr. Goats wouldn't let Don Wells up on the property. He said, I don't want you up here.
Yeah.
And he was what kept Don and Pam at bay away from his wife at the time, which was Don's mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I asked his son about? I asked his son about it, and he says, like, what? Where the hell did that come from? I says, you haven't been watching all the stuff on there, and he hasn't because he don't, you know, they've already attacked him. He don't want to be involved in it, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. I talked to him privately. He told me the same, that his dad, that Don barely spanked him as a kid, and that absolutely there was no inappropriate touching.
He's not a violent person. He never sexually.
My relationship with my father, honestly, he's like one of the best dads I've ever had. Like, well, we'll ever have. But besides his drug problem, he's honestly one of the best. Like, he's always there for you when you need him, and he's always did anything that he could to help me out, whether it was money wise or someone to talk to, or he's never went against anything I said. Like, if I needed to talk to him about something, he would listen and try to help me out with everything. Like, I can't explain it. It's
because I was unable to finish that. When we end this, I'm going to go back and we're going to listen to the daughters. I have it broken up. It's going to be goofy, but we're going to listen to the whole thing of the daughter, because the daughter says, I don't even talk to them people. I don't even know them people. That they were doing things to her at 3 years old and then tried to buy her. Mary, do you have Summer? Serious question. Your man was doing things to Dawn's oldest daughter and you were trying to buy her at 3 years old. It's the same age that the daughter claims that your man was doing something to her. I got some serious questions for you, lady. It's just an opinion and some speculation, but it seems pretty funny that you would want to buy a child your husband is assaulting. Or somebody in your family. It might not have been the husband, but somebody in the family at that time. Your family. She stated it.
Don, you know, he stayed over into Arkansas, waited for his mother's husband to pass away. And then he hightailed it in there to do her the way he tried to do your dad and your mom.
Yep.
And you know what she said? She said his mother told a couple of the ladies, there was these ladies from the church, old Miss Goats was one of them. These ladies were the ones taking care of Donald's mom, not Don and Candace, but these older women. The church came in every day and checked on her and, you know, brought her food and you know, talked with her for a while. And these older women said that Don's mother had confided into them the same thing. That him and Candace would play real loud music. And when he
did that. And then at a future date, I don't know how many years went by, I thought it wise to just deed it over to Donnie Wells, because he was living there, you know.
Correct.
So that's
How far back does it go to their ownership of the property?
Oh, Donnie's?
Yes.
Oh,
Starting with the first owner before it was deeded over. Is it within the family, the property?
well, Karen Goat bought it from somebody up in Kingsport a long time ago. And then she did it to me, and then I eventually deeded it to Donnie.
Gotcha. And what's your affiliation with Don in Utah?
Is he in Utah? I thought he was still out in Tennessee.
No, he's in jail right now, but he's in Tennessee, but I do know that Utah is another place that he tends to go often.
Yes, his dad lives up north of where
he's in Tennessee, but I do know that Utah is another place that he tends to go often.
Yes, his dad lives up north of where I live.
Okay. And you're in Utah?
Yes, but I used to live about 30 or 40 minutes from him.
Okay. And then I also see that you lived at one time at 110 Ben Hill Road.
No, that's Donnie's address, 110 Ben Hill Road.
Okay, it says that maybe it's because you were the real estate associated through the real estate company, maybe?
I don't know. But, my name was on the deed for several years.
Clyda Trent is now 81 years old. I highly doubt she took Summer Wells or wants to raise a child. However, looking into Mormon stuff, people are like, well, why did she deed it to Donnie? Well, I'm thinking, this is just my thoughts. Dawn's mom thought that Dawn wasn't responsible enough. He wasn't married. The Mormons are very, very, very into their religion. They want you to be married. You hear Clyda Trent married this family. They married Dawn and Candace. The land was given to them upon this marriage. I have a feeling Dawn's mom put stipulations in order for them to gain the land and didn't think that they were responsible enough to have the land yet. That's just my thoughts. I don't think there was anything nefarious behind it. I believe that Clyda Trent took care of this lady and was this lady's best friend from Utah to Tennessee. I believe that's how Miss Goad made it to Tennessee. You hear her in this conversation state, oh, she bought it from someone in Kingsport. It was somebody she lived with in Kingsport. The playground equipment that Dawn got. Hold on. Dawn's mom also lived with those people when she first came in Kingsport and Churchill. Anybody that does their research would know that. That came from family members of people on Ben Hill. These people are connected to people on Ben Hill. They're all related, including to Andy Bernard, Fred Hill, the other Goads, Sexton. They're all related. Do some research, guys. His mother didn't just come to Ben Hill. Okay.
Years.
Okay. And I don't know, do you have any thoughts or anything you'd like to share about the Summer Wells case?
It's just tragic because they don't know how their daughter's doing, or if she's dead or alive or here or there. That would, being a mother, that just drive me wild.
Are you in contact at all with Candace or Grandis?
Candace.
They either shut down or rebuilt a playground at a school. And that was the playground equipment that Dawn got. It was from a school. He got school playground equipment.
Candace.
And the guy who gave it to them worked as a janitor at the school.
I haven't been for probably, I think the last time we were in contact maybe was when I was out there last end of December.
Mm-hmm. So you were there the end of December. How was the family then?
When did the kids get taken away? About that time?
No, in June. They were taken away in July. June 15th, Summer went missing, and then child, they took the children as well.
Yes, actually, I was out there then, and
Okay, this is the part that really needs concentration, because I feel as if this could go really much.
And the people she lived with, all the last names connect to Lamplight. Jamie Wilson, Ramey, Christian. Y'all need to do some research. Dawn's mom knew these people. Dawn knew these people from his mom. He knew their children from his mother. He has known these people for more than 30 years.
Deeper, because first she says she hasn't been out there since December 21st. And then she says she was out there right before the kids were taken. Listen real closely to the
which also connects back to Linda, right? All these names connect. They're all related.
timeline, you guys. It's all wrong. Child, they took the children as well.
yes, actually, I was out there then, and the DCS, is that right?
Yes.
Department of Children's Services. Let's see. I called Donnie because me and my friend wanted to visit them. And so we did. Well, he said, I said, I can come out Wednesday or Thursday. Which one is best for you? He said, well, DCS is coming Wednesday at 6:30 and come then. I said, oh, no, I'll just come, Thursday. He said, well, I'm tied up Thursday. Please come Wednesday. So we ended up housing.
Okay, this is very, very important part. She says, Clyda Trent says, they ended up taking the boys the first night because DCS did not have a place to put them. They had no holding facility. So this idea that they were planning to take the boys for years before, they were there to take the kids. They were so ill prepared, they did not even have a place to take the boys. Miss Clyda Trent kept them.
The first night after the. Do you understand that makes no sense? I'm trying to figure this out. Listen.
Housing the kids that first night after they left.
The first night after the. You mean after DCFS took the kids?
Yes, did not have a place to put them. It was, they didn't have a holding place. It was school or something down in Rogersville. So they asked us if they could come and stay there over at Churchill.
Oh, wow. At that time, Summer was already gone.
Yes.
So she was there. Summer was already gone. And she's actually saying she was there the day that she went missing.
Okay, here's where I began to start to lose my patience with this person. Okay.
And I agree with Backwoods. I lose my patience too. They're trying to switch this old lady's words. And it's sad.
She came in July, the day that the boys were taken. Summer went missing June 15th. She is not saying she is there when Summer went missing. How hard is that to understand? Excuse me for my snarkiness. I'm irritated.
Makes no sense. Were you there when Summer went gone? Because they were gone the day they were supposed to get picked up.
No, she was already gone. Yeah, she was gone.
See, this is a problem. I have a problem with this.
Okay, down in Rogersville. So they asked us if they could come and stay there over at Churchill.
Oh, wow. At that time, Summer was already gone.
Yes.
So were you there when Summer went gone? Because they were gone the day they were supposed to get picked up.
No, she was already gone. Yeah, she was gone. And
No, DCFS was supposed to come
Wednesday.
the night, correct. And then she was gone on that 15th, the day before. So
no, wait a minute. There's something messed up about that.
This woman is telling you she didn't get there till July, when DCFS was taking the boys. She wasn't there in June. She was there in July. Do you not hear it? Whoever the fuck you are.
You think?
The kids, were taken after Summer.
Correct. Oh, yes, the boys were taken after.
But I noticed, and I told DCS, I've been, playing with the boys, entertaining my.
She totally won't answer the question. She's avoiding it. Now she's going to a safe place.
They're interviewing the parents.
Do you see how YouTube creators create narratives? That right there is creating a narrative. She answered your question. She answered it like 3 times. She told you I was there in July. After Summer was gone, when the boys were taken, I had them the first night in Churchill. I was shocked that they asked me to take them. They didn't have a place for the boys. That's what she said. It was plain as day to me. But you go ahead and you twist it and you change the narrative for all the YouTube creators over all these years that helped to cause confusion. Dumbass. I don't know who you are, but fuck you.
And the 3 boys were very nice. They acted like boys and they knocked around a little bit, but they weren't mean to each other and they didn't yell curse words and they were just nice kids. It's so sad.
How was Summer?
I didn't see her. Remember?
When you knew and saw her before do you have anything to share about the way Summer is or was?
Well, it might have been, how old was she when she was taken?
5.
Yeah, I think I saw her last when she was 3 or 4. And she was really a happy child.
Okay. Did you hear what Miss?
So Prayer Garden just told you that these ladies from church were saying Dawn was tormenting his mother and doing all this other shit. Do y'all hear that in this? Because I don't. To me, it sounds like Dawn welcomes Miss Trent, asks her to come in and help with the kids, that they still have conversation after his mother passed away. She trusted him enough to give him the land that his mother left him that she was deeded to hold on to for safekeeping. Yes, it was a quick loan. I have the actual deed. Hold on. I'll be right back. Where's that folder? Can you look through there? for that folder. I have the deed because it was sent to me through GGJFK, which, by the way, I think Prayer Garden or Mary, one of the two, mentioned in here. Oh, I'm so grateful that Ziggy did her research. No, bitch, I gave Ziggy that. It started a huge ass fucking fight because GGFK didn't want me to fucking share it after she said anybody could have it. It's on the panel. Ask Ziggy. Ziggy didn't research shit. She never fucking does. She just sits around and tells people what the fuck they tell her and then starts fights. I gave Ziggy that deed.
Trent, who spent time with the children, just said the boys were well behaved. They didn't cuss. They weren't mean to each other. She goes on to say that Summer was a happy little girl that loved her mother and father. So this narrative that, you know, these children were out of control, hurting each other, mean children, their parents were just totally neglectful and abusive. This eyewitness, this person who spent time with them, just stated completely the opposite. How do you get happy, well-behaved, polite children when you're abusive and neglectful? You don't. And Henry agrees. He said, quit spreading lies.
And even after Clyda did this interview, Prayer Garden gets on there and says the ladies from the church said that Don abused his parents. I call your bluff, Prayer Garden. Prove me wrong.
Lies and rumors.
Anything about it you'd like to share? Because most of my listeners and most people that follow this case really don't know her and have never seen her. Only thing we know about her is through social media. And it's always nice to hear someone's words.
Yeah, and she loved to dance, you know, and she loved her daddy. And, you know, of course she loved her mother, but, you know, she's, you know, that daddy-daughter thing where they wrap their daddy around their little finger, you know, that expression.
Yeah. What do you personally feel happened to Summer?
I am stumped, just like everybody else. I've heard rumors of ugly stuff, and, you know, I don't know. Just don't know.
I know. No one knows except for the person who knows. Oh, no one knows except for the person who knows.
Yes.
And I believe that's Candace.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of human trafficking in Morristown, someone.
Yeah.
My friend just me on the phone, because I'd already come back from Utah, that her granddaughter almost got taken. She got off the bus at home, and two people, or I don't know, a car came up and was about to grab her, but she ran away, and her mother ran toward her, and then they took off in the car. That's how
fast it happens.
Pardon?
Happens in a second.
Yes.
It happens in a second.
Until another one got stolen in Morristown out of her backyard. But she screamed and yelled and kicked and everything. And about two miles down the road, they let her out.
Wow.
So she was a wildcat. And thankfully.
And I don't take nothing from that. I take that as her talking to people about her friend whose daughter's missing. And, oh, shit, well, this happened too, and that happened too. And I believe that that's going on in that area. As a matter of fact, there's a couple girls' faces on there that ain't even been shared. I found one the other day. I got to find it again. When I do, I'll share it so that you guys know it. There's a lot of people missing from Greene County and Washington County, but you aren't hearing that. You're hearing just about Kingsport, right?
So
that's great. We're in Utah. I'm investigating the Arden Pepion case, which is in Black.
Don Wells feels you know, Don Wells feels that he has some kind of right to take whatever he wants. He thinks he has some type of right to, you know, he felt he had a right to violate and take whatever he wanted away from Mary's little sister. Like he owned it.
Yeah.
And he acted like he had a right to come in the house and do what he did with his friends to Mary. And he acted like he had a right to act out and say whatever he pleases and treat people however he pleases. When, you know, and that's how evil is. That's exactly what evil does. And you know why it does it? Because it believes it can. You have to tell it, no, you can't.
Prayer Garden, that statement right there, you having Mary up there, well, she puts down kids that are going to come see this, like a family, that they're going to come see this. This is how their family was. Bitch, you're evil. My opinion. You're evil as fuck.
Yeah, and they're just saying all kinds of stuff that's not true. You know, apparently there's something that happened between him and Jeannie when they were kids. But it's not like this is a pattern. You know, he never abused his own kids, they told me.
Yeah.
And nobody else. It's just like, so, you know, there's just all these rumors out there. There is no pattern here. I think he made mistakes when he was younger. He was a kid. But it's not like there's a pattern.
Just like when he was in Utah and he did that to Mary's dad and mom. Well, you know, Mary's dad was fighting as hard as he could for somebody almost 90 years old. But God put Mary's husband's feet there that day to say, no, you can't. No, you can't, you evil bastard. And no, you're not. And, you know, wherever your feet are, that's where God put them. And that's where they were needed. That's why Mary and her husband was there. Did Don ever say anything to his dad or mom why he wanted to move into the house with them? Did he ever say anything about why he was moving in there?
No, but he did tell me the reason why he wanted to move back down here was because there was more work, apparently. Apparently he couldn't find very much work or something up there or something. So he wanted to move back here.
And now y'all know that I found Don's job site and where he worked, and I put it out there, and I'm going to tell you what, Don had a fucking very good job. He had an amazing job. He probably could have made a lot of fucking money there. But they all caused him problems. That family could have been living good. I'll share the job site that Don worked on. He was actually blessed to have the job he had. Famous people move in to where he was working and what he was building. It's like a millionaire's row, a vacation area. It's beautiful. I'm kind of jealous that Don got to see that and I didn't. Maybe one day. Who knows?
You know, I had Don on my panel, Mary. What do you think of this? I had him on my panel. And I said, Don, I have made up some t-shirts and I can make more. They were really beautiful shirts. And I said, I can make different ones and you can have them, you know, send them to a screen printing shop and, you know, and have them, you know, put up on everybody.
And she'll go on to say, save the money and give it to the kids when they turn 18 and they need something to go on. But Prayer Garden, why does everything on YouTube have to be making money? Why can't it just be putting Summer's face out there? Talking about Summer. Why does it always going to be reward, billboard, t-shirt, candles? Y'all never see me do none of that shit. Nor do I intend to. If I'm going to sell something, it would be under my terms. Like, oh, I make stickers. Anybody want a fucking sticker that says fuck it? I'm not going to put Summer's face on it or label it as, oh, let's collect for Summer. Jody Sue has done it. Prayer Garden has done it. Ziggy has done it. Q has done it. Tiffany has done it. Molly Go Lightly has done it. How many? Dolly? How many Cash Apps? You do the same fucking thing every day while not showing your face. Let's feed Prayer Garden. She doesn't show her face. To me, it sounds like this might be a woman that Dawn did something to back in the day, and she's vengeful. The more, Earl, can you stop? The more and more she does this, the more it sounds like she has a vendetta against Dawn. For some reason, in my opinion. Do you know Dawn from a past life, Prayer Garden?
You know, I had Don on my panel, Mary. What do you think of this? I had him on my panel. And I said, Don, I have made up some t-shirts and I can make more. They were really beautiful shirts. And I said, I can make different ones and you can have them, you know, send them to a screen printing shop and, you know, and have them, you know, put up on everybody's channels, to sell them to get a new reward for Summer, to get a new reward for, this is back when they was taking her reward. Okay. I said, And we could all sell these t-shirts and all the proceeds would go into a new reward fund for Summer. And I'm sure people would buy them. He could have sold them like at $20 a shirt. They were really beautiful, really detailed, really beautiful shirts. And he could have sold them easy, $20 a pop. And
T-shirts that she designed. I'm sure they had Summer's chopped off head on them. I'm sorry, Per Gordon, your edits suck. They suck. They don't even look good. Quit doing it. I'm so aggravated with you after this.
right at the beginning, you might not want to give, some young boys money because they'll blow through it and it's gone. But, maybe after they, come out and they've been out for a little while and know how important it is to, have a roof over their head and education. And so maybe at that point they come into some money, they'll use it wisely, buy a home, get some education, do something important instead of just blowing it and wasting it. And he said, no, sissy, that ain't what I want to do. How about if we sell these t-shirts and buy some land up in Utah so we can put trailers on it and have homeless people who ain't got no homes come and live on it. I said, what?
Yeah, but I'm baffled. What?
He wants to drag homeless people on this piece of land like he did over in Utah. The only problem or over in Arkansas. And the only problem is when he was dragging these homeless people to his home over in Arkansas, he was dragging women with children, pregnant women and women who already had children. He was looking for families with kids to drag in. Well, the problem with this is law enforcement and child protective services came in there and they took these children out because they were being SA'd by these people in Donnie and Pam's home and around their home. And there was people going to jail.
I never knew that.
Yes, absolutely. Matter of fact, I have, there's a girl in my chat on Sassy Pants, who was one of the victims in Donnie's garage with her baby.
Wow.
And her baby was one of them that was taken away. She didn't get it back. And, this is what Donnie.
Now listen, hold on. Hitting the bull. Listen, Dawn has a very shady criminal past. Do I put it past Dawn to be capable of the things that Mary says? No, I don't. His past is shady to me. Finding underwear, sneaking in somebody's garage. I don't know if these people are real. I haven't really paid attention to Prayer Garden. I have to go watch Sassy Pants and see what this is about before I make any assumptions on it. But I've seen Dawn's criminal record. So do I believe Dawn's an angel? Fuck no. Okay? Do I believe Dawn could be capable of bad things? Fuck yeah. However, this with Mary seems like a vendetta to me. This seems like more than that. Do I agree with things Dawn did in his past? No, Dawn, you're a fucking pervert. Who takes panties, sniffs them, steals them, puts them in their pocket? But that don't have nothing to do with Candace or Summer that we know of, right? And that was also how many years ago when him and Candace first met. Does it mean that I think that Dawn doesn't have some kind of ties to that kind of life? No. Could that be a possibility of why Summer's gone? Yes. But what I hear when you're sitting here talking to Mary is that Mary knows how bad of a man Dawn was, but still kicked him out with his son to drive speeding all the way back to Tennessee, not caring about that baby's well-being. So why should we believe that she gave a fuck about Summer's well-being? That's my opinion. I don't like this woman.
Candace was doing to these young girls, these young mothers, that were homeless and trusting, that they really wanted to help, but all they wanted to do was bring them into a evil cesspool. And, I believe that something like that was also going, well, up in Utah, you said he tried to sell his son. He tried to sell his little girl. He was trying to sell his children even before this. And, and it seems like,
well, if that's the case, why didn't Mary get the win when she tried to buy his children? But let's listen, because we're getting there.
In Tennessee, this may be something that was going on too with Summer and some other children possibly around in the Wells care. And then and now he's wanting, he came right on my panel and says, I want to buy land in Utah. Since, he feels like, he burn up everything in Tennessee. He can't do it in Tennessee again. So he wants to come back to Utah, get land and start bringing these people, start doing it again. Him and Candace want to start doing this again, only in a different place.
Right.
Right? That's what it sounds like to me, you know.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
When he was in Utah, was Child Protective Services on him? I mean, is that why they ran over into Arkansas?
Yeah. See, that's because we were always calling CPS. Me, my 4 other sisters, my brother. I mean, even my mom. We were constantly always calling CPS because every time we seen them, every time they came over, anything. I mean, the kids, they were just babies, you know. And I mean,
Here's what I'm not hearing. Heidi didn't call CPS. The dad didn't call CPS. Sonia didn't call CPS. Dawn's birth family. What I hear is evil stepsister, evil stepsister, evil step family called CPS to cause problems. Like, how does that help a person that's in active addiction? Don't you think you would have been better off trying to get him help and loving him as a family? I'm very upset with my son right now. I just kicked him out of my home. Yeah, I'll tell you all about that later. Okay. However, I will welcome him with open arms when he decides to get his shit together. Right? Like, you don't, I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. Let's call CPS. Let's make your life hard as fuck. Because that's what she was doing as a sister, not making it easier, not taking care of the kids and babysitting. No, she was calling CPS and causing problems over and over and over. That's not helping or saving any children. But let's go on how you're going to buy one of Dawn's children.
literally, little Donnie, because Pam always propped his bottle on the side of his little bassinet or whatever it was she carried him around in.
Right.
He had an indentation literally on the side of his head because he was always tilting his head because she propped his bottle from the day she brought him home from the hospital. You know, and it was terrible.
All babies get the indentation in their head. It's from laying on one side of their head. It has nothing to do with propping a bottle. They go bald. They get bald spots. I just went through it with my grandson. Nobody props his bottles. Babies do that regardless of bottles or not. It's a known fact. We can research it one day, Mary.
Horrible. I mean, this little, 3-month-old baby with a freaking dent in the side of his head because she constantly propped his bottle. And
Right.
I don't know if his darn head ever grew out of that or not, but
Right.
when you see stuff like that and they've got a diaper on that they've been wearing for a freaking week and curdled milk all in their chins and everything and their clothes were just filthy and it was bad. It was bad,
It was hard for you because you love those kids. You love them children. You felt these are my nieces and nephews. This is family. And
Yet she kicked Dawn out of the trailer with Josie so that he could fly back, get a speeding ticket, and maybe wreck on his way back to Tennessee, right? She loved them kids so much, Prayer Garden. So much that she gave a shit about Josie's life.
we tried to clean them up every time we'd see him. I tried stopping by their house every time, and I would go in and the house would be like a hoarder house and just garbage and junk and roaches and mice and I mean everything just everywhere. And I would try to go over there and bathe the kids and buy new outfits for them and change their diapers and hold them to feed them. I mean, it was terrible.
But wait, Dawn assaulted you. Why would you do that? You're scared of him. Ain't you scared he's going to argue again? Why would you want to go around somebody who assaulted you? Answer that.
In CPS, I mean, I guess they tried doing stuff, but every time CPS came to the house, they would either not answer the door or pack up and leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they do. It seems like Child Protective Services don't want the children they should be taken, and they go taking kids that they shouldn't, right? I mean, like there was cases where, Child Protective Services, actually go into nice, clean homes, well-kept homes. The kids, having a little bit of problem with maybe, their education or something. And here Children's Services is dragging these parents through the mud and everything else. And I think it's because these parents can afford to pay the court and the attorneys. I mean, everybody's making money because these parents are definitely going to start spending the money, to fight all of this and get it out of the way. But they go to homes where children are being totally abused, like you said, just a nightmare. I mean, like 1,000 flies on the diaper. Yeah. And and the child's belly button sticking out from crying its head off and the one taking care of it, and the child smells from head to toe like it ain't been bathed in a year. and they walk out. They turn their back and just run away from it, like, because nobody wants that child in their home. Child Protective Services, these caseworkers, they don't want, they walk in there with their expensive clothes on, right? Their little high heels, their expensive clothes on, their little, peacoats and their leather bag. Yeah. And they walk in there and, and they don't want none of that stuff touching them, right? Then I'll tell you what the caseworker says. When I get home, I'm going to have to hose myself down in the backyard, hope nobody sees me, because these clothes are not going in my house at all. They're going to have to go in a bag, and they're going to have to go to the dry cleaners after I've been in there.
Yeah.
And they're serious. When they get home, that's exactly what they're doing. They're in the backyard, stripping off their clothing, hosing off, putting it in a bag, and to take it to a cleaners. They don't even bring the clothes in their house. I lost Mary. I lost you, Mary. Come back. That she was going to adopt the little girl, but Pam wanted them to give her the money, but she still wanted to have all access to the child as she did before. Was it you going to adopt the baby?
Yeah, we were going to adopt Margie.
Right. And Pam wanted to be able to still have all to do with her.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's when you put your foot down and said no.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. They came over to sign the papers because we had the papers all drawn up from an attorney. Donnie's sister, Sonia, she's all that's you can't do that. What you call it? Can't remember what she called it.
Illegal?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she said it was illegal. But there's a word for it. I forgot what she called it. Because we were going to give him $10,000, but the reason for the 10 grand was because we were trying to help him. Because Donnie wasn't working at the time, Pam wasn't working, and they needed money. And
so he wasn't paying for the child.
Keep listening. She was paying for the child. Why wouldn't you take both children if they're in harm's way? Fuck the money. Why not go through an adoption agency or CPS? You're sitting here trying to buy somebody's child while you're accusing them of selling a child when he still has them. I want you guys to listen to this. She's trying to buy Dawn's daughter, who is being assaulted by her family at the same age that baby is being assaulted. You sick bitch. In my opinion.
What you were doing was trying to give them a boost to get back on their feet and move forward, give them an opportunity to get a roof over their head and some food on the table, clothes on their back, and straighten up and start moving forward properly.
Right.
And possibly give the little boy a better home. Yeah. Since they didn't want to let you have him, to give the little boy a better home. But instead, yeah, it wasn't extortion. It was, a hand up. They were trying to give him a hand up. And, what Donald was saying is, I'll let you have my little girl if you can show me that you can afford to help, afford to keep her up. So Mary's like, well, I'll give you guys 10,000 to show you guys that we have more than enough to keep your daughter up. We'll help you, help keep the little boy up too. Put a roof over his head, food on the table, clothes on his back until you guys can get working again. It wasn't, they weren't buying a child at all. They was just trying to give that baby a really good home so it wouldn't have to go through be drugged through all the things the little boy had already been drugged through. And because they wasn't willing to let the little boy go, Mary was trying to help him out in order to keep him up.
Let's give drug addicts $10,000 while they're toting around a little boy. Does anybody, what would have happened to that $10,000? You're right, Sassy Pants. I don't know you, and I didn't talk shit on you. I said I have to go back and listen to your story because I don't believe shit that comes from Prayer Garden's channel. That's what I'm talking about. Didn't nobody talk no fucking shit on nobody. So don't come in here, I'm talking shit. No, I said I have to go back and listen to your story. Nobody talks shit on you. If you never lived it, you can't understand it. I can say that from my own experience. It's because you let the baby play all the time. Yeah. Listen. I don't condone Dawn and Pam in the way they raised their children. I don't condone their criminal past. My point is, Mary is no angel, and she's if Dawn's a demon, she's just as much of a demon as he is. You don't offer to buy children while letting another one suffer. Let me give the drug addict $10,000 while they're toting around a little boy. What would have happened to that little boy, Mary? What would they have done with that $10,000 at that time? This little girl is stating that your family, your family, was assaulting her at the time you were trying to buy her. We're going to go back and listen to that when I'm done here. But I find it pretty fucking sick.
And to do for him as well. The money was really for the little boy's sake, not for anything else. And since Child Protective Services, which Mary and others had called so many times, wouldn't help these children, Mary thought, you know, what are you supposed to do? You got to try to help them yourself. And that's what she was doing.
Yeah. So the night that they came over to sign the papers, we were sitting around the table, and Donnie and Pam, you know, they were getting ready to sign. Donnie did sign the paper. He signed first. And then he handed the paper to Pam, and she stops and she looks at me and she goes, well, now, since you guys are adopting her, you know, I'm still going to be able to like come and get her like on weekends and stuff like that and see her. And I said, no, if we adopt her, she's going to be our little girl, not yours. We don't want you having any contact with her at all. And she looked at me and she's like, no, I'm not signing. And Donnie got all pissed off and he's like, just sign the fucking paper right now. Let's get our money and get the hell out of here. All he wanted was the money. That's all he wanted. He did not care if he was signing his rights away for his girl. He didn't care.
Exactly.
He just wanted the money.
And you didn't care that you were trying to buy a child. Guys, I'm going to go back. I want to go back to White Boy's interview. Actually, I have it all split up and it's a mess. So what we're going to do, there's two of these. Hold on. Because he did it twice, and one you can hear the whole thing. Let me go to history. We're going to stop this bullshit right now. I'm done with Prayer Garden. Yeah, Mary. But here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let you guys, and hopefully White Boy won't strike me.
How can a microblader make more than a doctor and only work part-time hours? Think about this for a second.
I had no idea it was going to be, you know,
tag
telling me that I was allowed to record you. I just want to make sure that now that I am recording, it's still okay with you. Yes. Okay. And you are Mr. Donwell's daughter. Yes. Now there are certain allegations being made against your father, and you would like to clear the rumor mill up because you're saying that it's not factual information at all. And everybody deserves to have the truth come out, especially when they're being drugged through the mud. So, what can you tell me about your relationship with your dad?
My relationship with my father, honestly, he's like one of the best dads I've ever had. Like, well, will ever have. But besides his drug problem, he's honestly one of the best. Like, he's always there for you when you need him, and he's always did anything that he could to help me out, whether it was money wise.
You caught that too, Lisa K. I went over that. That's funny. I was laughing about that last night because she didn't even say half breed. She was like half baby. Like, what else is it? An alien? A fucking cow? What else is it? A half what? And even if the baby was half breed, what the fuck is it of anybody's fucking business? And why is that a problem? You're racist ass motherfuckers. So why don't you just chill with the shit?
Or someone to talk to, or he's never went against anything I said. Like, if I needed to talk to him about something, he would listen and try to help me out with everything. Like, I can't explain it.
How many kids does your
Dick Dollar? I'm just here to keep Summer's name out there and to call out the bullshit. I'm not in Rogersville. I'm not searching. I don't have law enforcement credentials. It is not my responsibility to find Summer. I'm not going to find Summer. Law enforcement will find Summer, or somebody will have to come out and say what happened to Summer. I don't know who PG is. I'll tell you what I figured out, and I have to figure out how I figured it out again because I heard it the other day. The bitch is from from Ohio. Benny had a that's how I heard it. Benny has text messages with Prayer Garden where she tells Prayer Garden her whole fucking life. The bitch is from Ohio. 100% from Ohio. I could tell you that. She told Benny that. I could show you it in text messages at the beginning of all of this when her and Benny were fighting. However, it's not my job to find Summer. I'm here because I want to keep her face and her name out there so that people don't forget her. It's law enforcement's job to find Summer. Right.
Dad have?
With my mom, he has 2, but with his new wife, Candace, he has 4.
So there's 6 total children between 2 women marriages, and he still was able to accomplish pretty much anything that he could to help you in any situation that you've ever experienced in life.
Oh, yes.
So that shows that he was very attentive to everybody's needs.
Yes, like, anytime he had, like, his little drug ordeal or whatever, every Friday he would, well, not every Friday, I can't say every Friday, but anytime he messed up on Fridays.
In my opinion, Donald Wills, you're very lucky that your daughter still loves you and sits out here and talks good about you. Because what I hear is a bunch of shitty ass fucking parenting. I agree. You was a shitty fucking parent. It's sad that this is the life your children led because of you. But your family didn't help it. And they're not perfect and they're not angels. My opinion.
I could always count on an hour lecture from my dad the next day. Even though I didn't do it, I never did anything wrong. But he would still lecture me about it. That way I wouldn't follow down the same foot.
So basically he was saying learn from...
Phoebe, please don't. I understand you like Prayer Garden. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinion, but don't come in here if you don't like her, don't watch her. Because she covers Summer's case and she has important people on Summer's panel, and I'll block the fuck out of you. Like, I don't give a fuck if I made friends with people or not. Don't come over here. Prayer Garden has caused enough fucking problems in Summer's case. Just like she did the other night when she brought Mary on panel trying to restart bullshit. There is a missing child. Prayer Garden's not missing. She's played games. She doesn't show her face. She hides. She talks to these people. She's sneaky behind the scenes, wants to know everybody's business, but won't tell nobody hers. Well, she sounds like she's 80 years old, claiming she has little kids. Who's the little kids, Prayer Garden? Is it Summer? Do you have Summer in the background? Show your fucking face. I'm sick of you.
What I'm telling you and not by what I do when I mess up. Like he knows that you saw and experienced the mess up part and he felt overwhelming guilt, I would imagine, and he's trying to explain to you why you shouldn't fall in that pattern.
Yes. And my dad has always tried to teach me, like, not like the stranger ordeal. He always tried to teach me to watch out for people because he'd always tell me, like,
I agree. Brat. Prayer Garden has had Summer's face out there. She's had her face out there edited, cut off of heads, all kinds of weird stuff, right? I agree that she's had Summer's face out there and talked about her, but I also agree that she brings people up like Blue Solo Cop and Joe Wells and how many others? Jenna? She was in there with the Jenna thing who called in the tip to the missing kid down in North Carolina while they were at Dr. Phil's. You do know the Prayer Garden started on Ziggy's channel with those exact people, right? You do know that. I don't give a fuck if y'all like her. I'm allowed to have my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I've always been open about that. However, Prayer Garden's not innocent in this, and I find something suspicious about her. You see my face? Look, I look like shit right now. I look like horrible shit. horrible. Okay, I'm gonna show you my face. Per garden, show your face if you ain't got nothing to hide. There ain't nothing there for you to be scared of. Nobody's coming after you like you're stating. Oh, I gotta protect my children. What children? Summer? You gotta protect Summer because there's no fucking way you got kids. You sound like you ain't even got fucking teeth.
There's bad people in this world that'll want to kidnap you and stuff like that. And we used to watch what's that, America's Most Wanted together. That way he could like help me understand that it doesn't matter how old you are or how strong you are in this world. Somebody is out there to always get you.
That's the truth. So he definitely wanted to educate you and make you experience all these different situations, so you were ready for the world that you had no idea was going to be, in your future. You were experiencing it early enough so that you were ahead of the game.
Yeah.
When he went on any, I don't want to say binges or like a one night or a weekend where he decided to, like you said, mess up and use something, was that time that he was using, even though it was short-lived, did that ever affect his relationship with you or any of your siblings?
Not with me. I know him and my mom thought about it a lot, but...
How do you know that, Aussie? Phoebe? Million name change? How do you know that? How do you know she doesn't live in Ohio? That would mean that you know who she is, right? Odd. I'm telling you, she sent it in a text to Benny. I zoomed in on it, and she told Benny she lived in Ohio.
Right. I think that's normal. She wanted the best, and
I'll show
that to
you
her
one
in
day.
her eyes wasn't the best.
All right.
So,
I don't know. My dad just like, I don't even know.
was he a full-time, like, I know he had to work, but when he was home, was he full-time, hands-on, involved with the family, involved with the kids? Just being, just because you're home and you're present physically doesn't mean that you are involved. You can still be a non-existent parental figure. So did he try to be in your lives all the time, no matter what?
Oh, yeah. Let's see. There's times like my dad would take me and my friends.
Here's what I got to say to the Per Gordon supporters. Last night, she claimed that Dawn's mom's friends from the church were stating publicly that Dawn was abusing his mother. She included Clyda Trent in that. You just heard Clyda Trent sing praises of Dawn and his children, right? Per Gordon lied. There's a lie. You just heard him say that you heard her say that he treated his kids so badly and this, that, and the other. This is his daughter. This is his daughter on White Boy Radio's, White Boy Lockdown Radio, whatever the hell his name is today. This is his daughter. This is Dawn's daughter on the channel disputing what Prayer Garden is saying. Although you can hear the abuse in what she said, you can hear the shitty life that this child had, she still loved her dad. She says that her dad never touched her. Right, I don't understand why she's being protected. It's not illegal to expose her true identity. Listen, when you are covering a missing child's case and you come in and you're stating you have children that people never hear in the fucking background, right? You're hiding your face. You're bringing people like Jenna in, right? The tip to North Carolina for a missing child while they were in California on a Dr. Phil show, not from TBI, but from Tim Mullen and Jenna. Where does Jenna come from? Jenna comes from Ziggy and Prayer Garden. Do y'all understand that? In my opinion, Prayer Garden's not here for the good. How do you know Tim? Prayer Garden. Where did you meet Jenna? Prayer Garden. How do you have access to the wills day one? Prayer garden. I'm calling your bluff. Show your face. I think you have Summer. Possibly. Speculating.
Out to play basketball together. And I mean, he wouldn't take just my friends, but like practically half the neighborhood. So he was like a neighborhood dad too, like a normal everyday father. My parents, I can tell you, we would have sometimes 10, 15 or more kids swimming in the pool and hanging out. And we'd go to their houses and there'd be the same amount of kids. So he was just a regular like neighborhood friendly dad. Oh yeah. I remember one time me and my best friend Crystal we went and rode bikes together on the bike trail at night, and my dad would follow behind us on his motorcycle. I loved it. Oh, that's so cool. I used to ride a motorcycle a few years back, and my kids would always be like, "Hey, we're gonna be at the park. We're gonna be here. Can you show up?" And sometimes like, "Can you ride the motorcycle?" And then kids would want to get rides around the park, and I could give the rides, but I could see your dad wanting to be like, "Okay, I could take you for a spin if it's okay, with your parents or whatever." Like from what you're making him sound like, he's just like a happy-go-lucky. I'm happy. My kids are here. My kids' friends. And he was a part of your life and experiencing you guys grow. Right. And I think that it sounds to me like that he was very blessed and honored to be your father. The father of yeah. My dad, like, there were times that my dad was in prison and we didn't get to see him for long periods of time, but anytime he was there, he always made the best of it. I mean, he'd even take us to work with him and show us how to work. Like, he taught me how to spot nail first off, and I loved it. I loved the adventures at his job, like seeing the houses that he's help building or whatever, and I loved it. So he was definitely very hands-on. He even did the whole "let's take my kids to work" day, and oh my gosh, I still love that when I did it with my dad too. So I can only imagine that you were probably over the hills excited. Oh yeah. There are some allegations going around on YouTube about a CPS case from the year 1994. I'm not going to lie, I have heard a lot of mixed things about this over the past 2 years or so, but I never got involved in any of it because I didn't have the facts to base anything that I said on. I can give my opinions, but that doesn't make it the truth. So you would like to speak on this a little bit. You told me just to help your dad and let everybody understand, coming from his daughter's mouth, that what the situation actually was. So I'm gonna let you take over and tell us about that.
Yes, Phoebe, I did hear that, and I was going to include that in here. That was said on Voices Behind the Walls. Voices Behind the Wall. Yes, I heard that. And that's what I mean. I don't think Don was a great father. I don't trust Don more than I don't trust Candace. I think Candace is innocent. I'm going to be honest with you. In my opinion today, my theory changes every day, but listening to all this, I think Candace is innocent. Dawn is shady. Dawn was a shitty parent. Dawn was talking to PG day one. Yes. Dawn is okay with Tim bringing in false leads to his daughter and making his wife cry. If that's what she truly walked off stage for. Then I have moments where I see Dawn loved his daughter. I go back and forth all the time. However, I do still think both of them were shitty parents. Nobody's perfect. I don't think neither of them were raised correctly. I don't think neither of them should have had children. Okay? We all make mistakes. Dawn and Candace has made a million. I'm not sticking up for them. I'm here because I'm talking about Summer. And I see a lot of fuck shit with a lot of fuck people on YouTube in her case. Am I sticking up for Dawn? No. However, I'm not going to agree with what Prayer Garden says when his daughter's online disputing it, Clara Trent's online disputing it. People dispute it. People in Dawn and Candace's real life. People they knew. Clara Trent does not have Summer. She's almost 82 years old. She's an old woman. What would she do with Summer? Please. Prayer Garden is not any better. And if I don't trust if I don't trust Dawn, Prayer Garden would be one of the first people that I feel Dawn went to. Where's Summer, Prayer Garden? You keep claiming you have these kids and can't show your face. Whose kids? Whose fucking kids do you have?
They're saying it was happening when I was 3 years old. When I was 3, I was living with my mother, and I can't remember.
Paula, you're right, and I didn't mean it in that aspect. What I mean is there are, like my own sister, 2 sisters, should not have children. Those children are like now in the system. Candace's kids are now in the system. I don't believe any parent that can't raise a child with love. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't love them, because I see love. I see their kind of love. I didn't mean that in a rude way. I just mean there are people out here on this earth that shouldn't have kids. When you have 1 kid taken, 2 kids taken, 3 kids taken, 4 kids taken, 5 kids taken, 6 kids taken, there's a problem. I don't mean that in a rude way. I believe Candace loved her children. I don't believe she was capable of raising them. Not in a good environment. That's my opinion. That's from the dirty house I see. That's from the little girl running barefoot all the time. I don't give a shit if she lives in the country. There's still shit out there that can harm you, like you could step on a nail. I don't like that children were showering with their father, a daughter. I'm allowed to be judgmental. I shouldn't be. Nobody should be. But as human nature, that's what you do. You judge that shit. However, do I see Candace hurting her child on purpose? No, I don't. Take that as you see it.
Exactly who all was living with us at the time, but I do know at the time I was being molested by 3 different people.
That I'll agree with. I love that they're sober. I love that they're moving forward. I see them as different people today as I did 3 years ago, both of them. Both Candace and Dawn. That's a plus, Paula. So that's something like today. Would they be able to take care of their children because they're sober? Yeah. But 3 years ago, they were not. That's what I meant by that. Today, I think they could have their boys back and do great. I think they're doing wonderful right now. I'm loving seeing Candace, and I'm going camping and walking Kingsport and showing videos. I watch. I don't always comment. I wish the best for them. As long as they didn't do nothing this summer. I wish the best for them. I am proud of anybody who can overcome drug addiction. They had a serious drug addiction. It was displayed all over YouTube. They have fought to be where they are today, and they are sober. And I love that for them. I wish the best for them. I hope that one day their children see that they did that and that they will be reunited with them. That's what I meant by that. I don't wish ill will on Candace and Dawn, and I do see them as different people 3 years later. But 3 years ago, they were shitty parents, in my opinion. Today, I think they could do it.
I was being molested by a half brother of mine, a foster brother that my mom adopted off the street, and a family member from my step aunt's side of the family. Yeah, his name was JR. I guess he's Debbie's son or something like that.
That'd be Mary and Jeannie, whatever her name is.
So you no longer have contact with that family, the step family.
I have not talked to them. I have not talked to any of them besides Jeannie and Trish and all them. They were about probably.
Full coverage for just $39 a month? Seem too good to be true? It isn't. If you haven't checked your rates,
I want to say about 10 years ago.
So.
She hasn't spoken to these people in 10 years, but you will hear Mary on Prayer Garden and every other channel she goes to. When I talk to little Donnie, when I talk to his daughter, this girl's telling you she has not spoken to them. So Mary is coming on here and lying and saying that she has spoken to these children. This woman, she is now grown, Dawn's oldest daughter, is stating she has not spoken to them in 10 years. Mary gets on Lab's panel, everybody's panel, and says, well, when I have spoken to, when I talk to little Donnie, when I talk to the daughter, she has not talked to them. I'm calling out her lies. This girl is on here saying, I have not spoken to them. Did you hear that? I'm sick of watching her face. Although I did something funny yesterday. I should show you guys. She was on my nerves. Hold on, let me go do something. They changed Canva overnight again. They did this stupid glow up shit and I hate it. Oh shit. Is it not in here? No, it's not. Hold on. I gotta share it another way. Oh, wait. Cancel. Present. Video file. Oh no, where'd I put it? I know I uploaded it. Hold on. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking for something I did. It was funny. Is this it? Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Let me fix it real quick so it don't look so bad. Oh, I already did. Hold on. I gotta share the screen. Present. I'm gonna mute and just let you guys watch for a few minutes.
Oh no. That's bench. That's for damn sure. I really just want to throw these fucking receipts. Yeah. what I really need to like that others are so real and local have been trying to shine further on people who really need.
Oh shit, I gave you guys the unedited one. Hold on. That was messed up. Whatever, you get the point. I did her for like 2 hours like this, just clown music in the background. She said nothing. She said nothing. What is this live she did? Tragedy pimps, this, that, the other. Everybody's a damn tragedy pimp. Insane. That was the wrong one though. But anyways, I've been on here 2 hours. You guys got my point. You got my rants tonight. I'm sorry that I offended anybody. Phoebe, I'm sorry. But you have to understand, watching this from the beginning, when you know now, when you go back, when I've discovered something that continues to stick in my head every day is the fact that Dawn helped hire the We Can Bring You Hope people. Okay. There was the Jenna, the Ziggy, the prayer garden. That's where this all comes from. That there was a tip called in for Summer Wells while they were visiting Dr. Phil, and it wasn't from the police. It came from Tim Mullen and Jenna, who was brought in by prayer garden and Ziggy, who's now married to Fred. Kirst was right. It all circles back to right there. Right? Why? I don't like that prayer garden hides her face. I don't like that she's so secretive while everybody else isn't. Right? None of us have been harmed or murdered. My children haven't been kidnapped or hurt or harmed. She has no reason to do this while covering the case of Summer Wells. It's either clout, money. She's fake, in my opinion. And I'm about sick of it. I've been quiet for a long time, but that shit with Mary was too much. And when you hear that Mary tried to buy one of Dawn's children, not adopt, buy one of Dawn's children who's claiming that she was assaulted by that same family at that same time, at that same age, there's something fucking wrong there. That's my opinion. Does it have anything to do with Summer? I don't know. But they're shitty people, in my opinion. I'm not an angel. I'm probably a shitty person too. But I would never play these kind of games around a missing child. Jenna, I'm going to ask you anytime I'm live to come grab a link so that you can explain to the audience and to everybody on YouTube that's been following this case how it is that it was you that called in a tip for a child that you all claimed to be rescued that was never shown on the news. There's something wrong there. What is it? All right. I'm going to get off of here. Told you guys my husband took some vacation days. That's why I was not on last night. Plus, I was doing this bullshit. I want to go catch up. I didn't see nothing. I slept all day today. It was so beautiful. I went to bed at like 5 o'clock in the morning and didn't wake up till 8 o'clock tonight. Yeah, it's because nobody's here. You're right. My hubby got caught up on sleep. So now I'm going to go listen to some music and hang with him. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know with what. I pretty much went through the whole thing that was supposed to be parts tonight with you guys because I'm aggravated with it. And I do not want to see another night of prayer garden getting on there and pretending to be Summer's channel when all she does is cause harm to a missing child, in my opinion. And I don't care if she says the evil is attacking me. In my opinion, prayer garden, you're the evil. Show your face. All right. Peace and love to the rest of y'all. Sorry I offended anybody. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. If you're coming in late, hit the like button. And have a great night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and love. Mwah. Bye.